Hey guys, Brad Jackson from Jackson Audio here, and today we're joined with our very good friend and special guest, Joey Landreth. And Joey and I have been working together for a few months on a new pedal. It's called the Golden Boy. It's a kind of a derivative of our best-selling Broken Arrow Overdrive pedal with a few tweaks in it that we made just especially for Joey. So tell us all about it, Joey.
Yeah, so it started with you'd sent me a Broken Arrow when it was coming out, and I loved all the features of it, the gain scaling, the different diode options, and the clean boost as well. Really love the clean boost. But the sort of 808 style circuit was never something that has ever really been in my wheelhouse.
Right.
So I called you one day out of the blue and said, hey, would you ever be interested in putting a different circuit in this sort of in this body? And I've always been a really big fan of blues breaker style overdrives, and I've got a collection of sort of the greatest hits of them. And so I said, I think this thing would be really special if we had all those same features, but just with a slightly different circuit. So that's what this is. This is basically the same platform as the Broken Arrow, but with a BB circuit
That's
in there
right.
as well.
Yeah. And you mentioned it in passing, but there are so many different variations of the blues breaker circuit. We have some great friends who have some very iconic takes on the blues breaker circuit. This isn't a clone of anything. It's just a good sampling of a lot of things. So there's 4 different variants of the blues breaker circuit in this one. So you can get everything from high gain blues breaker to super transparent low gain blues breakers. It does a ton. We'll get into that later. But yeah, some of the things we did to it to make it a little bit different than the standard blues breakers. We put a 3-band EQ in it, like Broken Arrow has. It has a standalone boost that is before the overdrive, so you can boost the overdrive. And at request of a lot of guys, we added MIDI to it because we've had so many guys say, hey, we love the Broken Arrow, but can you go ahead and give us MIDI so we can control it in a live environment? Well, the Golden Boy is the very first pedal we've ever done, or overdrive pedal we've ever done that has MIDI, so hopefully that takes care of a lot of you guys. So what we'll do here in a second is go through some different sounds and kind of dial in some specific maybe variations of blues breakers, and you can see what you think. Okay, so the Golden Boy has 4 different clipping options in it, and with those clipping options, you can emulate different styles of blues breakers throughout the years. And the clipping mode that you heard first in the video when Joey was playing is the amber mode. I called it the amber mode, or we colored it that way, because it reminds me of a vintage Marshall, and vintage Marshalls always had amber indicator lights. So the amber mode is very open, uncompressed, and sounds like an old amp. So from there, if you go up the cycle of different clipping options, we'll go to green, which is really compressed and pretty high gain, which kind of reminds me of a tube screamer. Of course, it's not a tube screamer circuit, but it borrows the clipping diodes from that circuit, so it gives it that kind of a super compressed feel. From there, we'll go to magenta, which is a variant of a purple blues breaker model, which is has a very loyal and royal following. So from there, we go to the blue LEDs, which I would say they're kind of an asymmetric clipping thing. It's somewhat the same clipping circuit as you'd see in like a Timmy or something like that, but of course, it's not that Timmy 808 kind of a vibe. It's the different take on that, but those are the kind of vibes of the circuit. So what we'll do now is I'll show you how to get to the green mode, and then we'll kind of cycle through all the modes, and Joe will play, and we can hear how they sound. So to go into the programming mode, to select the clipping diodes, it's just like the Broken Arrow. You press and hold on the drive section. If the LED is flashing, it means you're in programming mode. So what I can do is if I want to go from amber mode to the green mode, I just press one time. And now you can hear it made the change. So now we're in more of a compressed high gain thing. So I'll go ahead and select it and lock it in. And Joey, let's hear it. Pretty high gain. That's actually on the low gain mode here. We'll go through the gain cycling here in just a second, but to finish the discussion about clipping modes, I'll go ahead and put you into the magenta one. So here you go. Now, what's really cool about the different clipping modes, it's not something you always hear. It's something I always feel the difference, and you may be able to kind of echo that or kind of give your spin on it. But that's one thing I notice is how it makes you feel when you play it.
Yeah, 100%. You definitely feel it start to give in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the next one, the blue mode, is kind of an asymmetric clipping. So it has kind of just a different feel to it than the magenta mode. Very nice. It's always cool to hear things that you make and have someone like Joey play through it. It's like, it just doesn't get any better than that. So let's go back to the amber mode. And what we can do now is we can play with the gain cycle feature. This is actually kind of a dim amber color. And check this out. As you hit both switches together, you'll notice this indicator will get brighter. And I'll explain what's happening here in a second. But so you notice it gets brighter. That's as bright as it gets. Comes back down to the dimmest. That's an idea that I came up with maybe a year ago for the Broken Arrow. And the reason behind this idea is because I've noticed like on most pedals you'll have like a low gain setting that sounds good, a mid gain setting that sounds great, like an aggressive rhythm sound up here, and finally a wide open, just crazy gained out sound. I was trying to figure out a way to get to all four sounds using just my feet without having to use my foot and try to roll the knob. So I tried a couple ideas, and I found a way of changing the gain, and what it does is it gives you percentages of gain. So at the dimmest setting, wherever this is, if say we're at 3 o'clock right now, that's 100% gain. That's the max gain you'll ever get out of the pedal. And every time I go up, if we're 25% now, it gets brighter, we're 50% gain, 75% gain, and 100%. 100% of wherever the knob is currently set. So the great thing about that is you're playing live, you're doing a verse one, kind of a low gain, kind of a transparent vibe. Well, come to here. Go to the first setting. It's pretty clean. You go to verse two, hit it, go to 50% gain. Maybe the chorus, you go to 75% gain. It was time to do a turnaround or a solo. You hit it, you go to 100% gain, and you've got all the gain you'd ever need. And you can come back right out of that into 25% gain. It makes it really, really easy to navigate your different gain options with your feet, and you never stop playing the whole time you're doing it. So go ahead and play, and I'll just mess with the gain while you're playing. Okay, so those are the 4 gain cycle options on the amber mode. That kind of shows you 25%, 50, 75, 100% gain and how you can use it maybe in a live setting. Let's try one more thing before we get out of this. Let's actually bump the boost into the front of the overdrive, because you can go pretty high gain already, but then you can just go into solo territory, crazy gain, by activating the boost in front of the overdrive. So, tell you what, let me go ahead and put you back into low gain.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the boost on the Golden Boy, and what you heard there was a MOSFET boost. It's a really simple circuit, but it's really effective. It sounds very amp-like and very uncompressed. It's just a good vibe as a general boost. But me being me, I never try to do things in a simple way. So let me show you 4 different options on the boost. So you have the boost. You press and hold it just like you got into the programming mode on the overdrive circuit. You press and hold on the boost foot switch, and the LED starts flashing. Remember, if it's flashing, you're in programming mode. So what this is, let me start at the bottom and work my way up. So you have 4 different colors of boost. There's yellow, there's green, aqua, and blue. And what that does is, starting from yellow, it increasingly adds bass the higher you go from yellow up to finally blue. With yellow, it's the brighter of all the colors, so it's a really bright sounding boost. So let us hear. Okay, so the reason I gave you 4 different EQ settings on the boost is for this reason. I was talking with a good friend of mine, Justin Weaver, who's a good friend of both of ours.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's a complete hack, no talent. Phenomenal guy, love him to pieces. He's like family to us here. This business actually wouldn't be anything that it is now without Justin, so I can't say enough good things about the man. But we were talking about boosts and overdrives and that kind of stuff, and he said, well, boosts in front of overdrives are great, but the problem is you put a really good full frequency boost in front of an overdrive and it just flubs out. You lose, it just goes to mush. Your low end's garbage. So he said, why don't you try something where you maybe change the EQ of the boost? So if you have a really high gain, kind of a distortion sound going, if you shove a kind of a thinly EQ'd boost in the front of it, it actually just gets bigger and fatter and the low end stays tight, which for someone like you who plays with what 15s? What you're playing with?
19s.
19s. Okay, so it's huge strings. You among anybody would probably flub out the low end on an overdrive circuit faster than anybody else. So that's why we have 4 different EQ settings on the boost alone. So that if you're trying to keep your low end kind of tight and articulate, maybe try the yellow mode and then just bump up the low frequency cutoff until you find something that works for you. So that really is as much as we need to say about the boost. It's pretty simple. It's got a lot of features, does a lot of great things. I think you'll enjoy it. So that's the overdrive and the boost circuit of the Golden Boy. And like I said earlier, all of these features are controllable and recallable via MIDI. So you can, at a moment's notice, turn your overdrive on, turn your boost off. You can change clipping modes. You can change EQ settings on your boost, turn everything off and on at random to have a completely different sound from section to section of the song. It's all done via MIDI. Super easy to do. The website has information about how to access all that. But that is a quick overview. I don't think it was quick, but that's an overview of the Golden Boy. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video on the Golden Boy. It's been a pleasure working with you, Joey. It's an absolute honor to work with someone, an artist of your caliber. I think 20 years from now, you'll be known among the greats in the industry. So it's an absolute pleasure to work with you on a project like this. So
Pleasure's all mine. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
So Joey's gonna play us out. Enjoy. Take care, guys.